Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by The Plain Truth, SX, Sleeping Warrior, Jose, Haunted House, Earth is Seriously Flat, Chocolate Saiyan, and Darwin. Good to have you all.
Good afternoon.
Hey guys.
Hello. What? Hey, hello.
I got
buenos dias.
I got a document here. I don't know if Ranty is aware of this.
Hi, Eric.
It's a statement. It's a statement concerning Over the Polls 2018, and it's in the interest of full disclosure. I'm going to explain to the Flat Earth community, and so they understand what happened with Over the Polls. And he's talking about returning money, surrendering himself to the FBI. So that's just a little preview. I don't know if you want me to read the whole thing, but it's got some stuff that not really of my concern. You know, if with all this NASA stuff and plans, if someone sets a date, then we just gotta wait for it to happen. It doesn't. It either does or it doesn't. So on October 26th, something is supposed to happen. To me, it wasn't going to mean anything in the beginning. Anyway, it's not going to change anything. Can't do much from an airplane with an 8x8 window, 8-inch window. It's like taking a spirit level on a bus.
So, I don't think my last message made it through whilst we were on the interlude in the middle. Jaren's just sent me a message.
Speak up, Anthony.
Jaren's just sent me a message saying that he's finally got his Freedom of Information request hard drive back from NASA, where he requested one of the specific spacewalks, and they've only sent him the wrong spacewalk, right? And I can't imagine this was done accidentally. This is not because it was somebody's innocent mistake. This is because they ain't got any footage of him playing golf on the moon. Shout out to NASA. You bum boys all love them. Especially Red's Rhetoric. You idiot.
Did Jerem put a video out yet explaining this? I mean, just on when he received the wrong film now.
I've only just got it. I've just got a message on Facebook Messenger, so I guess he's not put it out yet.
Yeah, but he's gonna do something, yeah.
Yeah. I hope he uploads the footage that he has got. It'll be great. Wouldn't it be great if you accidentally got somebody's porn stash or something like that?
Oh God! Imagine NASA's porn stash. Jesus, like fake floating around, and that awful toilet woman, Medusa, the Gorgon.
So I was the other day. Sorry, I was the other day talking about the moon landings in a server, and my argument was why we haven't gone back. All the excuse was because of the new technology they are building. They need to test it, and it's very harsh environment out there. I say, okay, listen to this. Let's say my dad in the 60s, back in the 60s, he went 2 hours away drive to Orlando from where I live. He said 2 hours away drive in the 60s, and he told everybody he went over there. They say, oh, I don't believe you went to Orlando. And now it's 2018. Why don't you go back? He said, oh, because I don't have a new car, and it's very expensive to build a new car. I say, shit, use the same car from the 60s. It's gonna take you to Orlando. Just put a freaking 4K camera on it. Use your cell phone and record the trip to Orlando. I don't need any big information. I just need a video for now. In the future, then do it. Use the new car. Go back to the moon and use the new measurement tools. I just want to document the trip as recorded with new cameras. I don't care if it's a new car, futuristic, or it's an old crappy car. If you guys did it with an analog little system in a freaking size of a calculator, you can do it again with the same car. Oh, but we lost the plans, the blueprints. Then build it again, damn it. What is easier? To build a $1 billion rocket with all kinds of circuits, or build $1 million rocket with a freaking what 2 little block circuits? There's no excuse.
I can
The
answer that question
technology,
for you.
I don't know.
I can answer that question for you because I just saw in
Yes.
this newspaper, this like it was like a marketing journal or something like that. They're gonna either go to the moon. They don't know. They got all these options, right? We don't know if it's the moon or Mars, but it's up to Trump and blah 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 blah. So I'm looking at it like, what the hell is really going on here? Like when they say things like we don't have the technology yet, if they can conceive of the technology they need, then they know what it is and they could build it. But then I thought about, what if they just haven't been able to render a CGI movie that will get past the whatever research firm they use to test the believability of it? Like maybe there's a percentage that they give back. Okay, this is going to be the movie. This is how our spacewalks look. They send it away, it comes back, and it gets like a 60%, meaning it's 60% believable in this demographic, blah, blah, blah. I don't think they have it down yet where they can, or they've worked out something that's convincing enough for the world to believe it, because it's going to be a lot bigger deal this time, second time
Dude,
around.
the new movie on the Neil Armstrong moon landing movies, they're gonna plug some of the real the in quote real footage on the black and white, all really sketchy looking. They're gonna plug a little bit of that, and then they're gonna show the 4K 3D version
Yeah,
of modern movie theater, and that's the way the next moon mission is gonna look. That's the programming. They're plugging it us now. They say
because it
this is the way
works.
the moon actually looks. We just couldn't show it you before because of the technology we had. Now this is the way it used to look before. Now it's gonna look like this. We're presenting you. That's all they're doing. They're
Well,
plugging that little
you got
programming in us.
you got to
Honestly,
remember.
I don't even think they're gonna risk it.
Look at Building
I don't.
7. If that didn't wake anybody up, I mean, they're standing. That's a smoking gun. Still, it doesn't matter. They could come out and say, we're a bunch of liars. It doesn't matter. People have already made up their mind before they
Yeah,
get
but
the disclosure.
you see how good they are. That there are people today who still don't know that Building 7 fell down at all.
But that's not because of their achievements. It's because of the stupidity of the public and the
Well,
just the
that's what I
ignorance and
mean.
the yeah.
That's
But I
what I
think it's
mean.
not.
They bank on that. They bank
I know
on the
they
stupidity
just
of
got to
people.
sit back and throw things at people's foreheads, and they bounce off like ping pong balls, and people just they drone back to work, and that's it. They could do anything. They don't have to worry about us. They're not worried about a bunch of people online. They want anything that divides, anything that creates a discussion.
Hey,
Anything.
hey, Flat Earth Perth, can you hear us?
Yes.
Excellent. Hooray. So tell us what you know about the pole to poles and Great Sapien.
I'll tell you what. I like the guy. He's gonna be an amazing flat earther, and he's just having a time with
That's not
cognitive
Flutter Perth.
dissonance. What's that?
That's not. Oh, Flat Earth Perth, you there?
Oh, flat earther. No, I'm not.
Sorry, you're getting the short end of the stick constantly, Earth is seriously flat, I'm sorry.
I know.
We gotta forget about those props that they're coming out with. Elon Musk on NASA, SpaceX. All of that is just the distractions to take over this world. We're getting attacked with
Well, it's not
G5.
for us. It's not for us. That stuff's all that visual. That's not aimed at us. That's aimed at pop scene. All the kids who want to party and like scream and yell about this, and you got nothing better to do. It has no
Well,
effect though.
no, but the thing is that we need to change the educational system. Instead of bombarding them with space fantasies, why don't we
Just
teach
leave
our
it out.
kids how to propagate this beautiful world, how to bring heaven back, and how to grow their own food, and teach them real skills? And they're wasting their time with video games and
Because
fantasy like this.
in America, the dumb have won. They're everywhere. They drive slow. They never merge when they know they should merge, and they say, "Oh man, traffic." It's something else causes it, but no one. It doesn't. It's not them. And they'll do it every time. I watch people in traffic go right and just try to go around around the side. It's just there's something about these people that God loves them
It's,
that way. That's why
it's
He
the
keeps them alive.
indoctrination. The indoctrination. God doesn't love anyone right now of us. We are all barely waking up. We're like babies. They're starting to realize that there's no Santa Claus, there's no spinning balls, and we are barely taking over our beautiful world. We have to
People get the
take over the
government they
narrative.
deserve.
We have to take over the narrative. That's basically what it is.
No, it's
Hey,
not
Spec.
enforcing. We're just competing.
What's up,
No,
Spec?
it's not a competing.
Yeah, we are.
You
That's how
can't
it works.
compete. It's the truth. When you are given the
Yeah,
truth, there's no
unfortunately, on the
competition.
marketplace, the truth can compete with lies and the other way around. That's how it's
All
become.
right, yeah.
We see it in politics, see it in advertisement. We see
Right.
everyone
But
seems to
once
be
you
falling back into a politicization
but
type
once
of
you land in
behavior
the
eventually,
truth,
and just say, okay, this guy's on our group, that guy's their group, the opponents, and then just go full in and just no shame. A lot of people do this constantly.
Arwen,
but the
are you familiar with interpolation when it comes to putting out data?
Interpolation?
Yeah. Well, it's this idea. It's like a kind of like a hypothesis. It's information thrown into an equation to simulate a new answer, and they work backwards from that data to get different options. It basically, in other words, none of the data is truly verifiable, so it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, but something has to be put forth. And if it sounds reasonable, it goes.
Yeah, interjecting purely conceptual things
Yes.
like Einsteinian gravity and all that.
Sure. Why not?
Oh, that's typical one of the unprovable. It's an ethereal thing, but yeah, that's not scientific method.
It's like unicorns.
Oh,
It
yeah. Well,
includes
sure.
supernatural elements and math
But
and
that's the way they do it.
concepts.
That's the way they work.
Yeah,
They insert something of a different nature into something else,
right.
and to find approximations, and then they extrapolate from that.
Yeah, I had a
It's like
math teacher like that once.
it's unbelievable.
or just like the
Overcomplicate the most simplest of things with giant formulas, and it's like, okay, nobody wants to know this shit.
There is
no
a
the
there is
oh,
a formula. There is a formula. I do believe that though, when it comes to how everything is spaced out in terms of if you know what the Merkaba is and how our body is works out, and I think that you can keep working with that and apply it to nearly everything. Everything returns to the earth. People say cement's not from the earth. Well, it's made from everything is from here, so it all goes back to it. So it's all related in some sort of way. So we just don't have the time to do what Fibonacci did in all these books. The books are so hard to read. You got to be really down for 1 hour pages.
Everything is stardust.
I just might be an idiot though. Half
Everything
idiot
is
on most.
stardust haunted. Like this.
I know he loves saying that. Freaking pizza face jerk. That guy, man. What would you do without atheism? Lowest.
Sorry to interrupt. I got a sideway question. I missed the first 5 minutes of the first show. Was it addressed if all the teacher made a correction video, maybe a retraction or a double down video on the mistake he made, or not? About the pressure systems, all the teacher, aka conspiracy cats.
Asking if he
I
made
don't know.
a.
Anthony Riley likes to do whippets. That's all I know.
Anthony, did he make a video on Nathan? Because I didn't hear any correction videos after Nathan ripped a new one of him yesterday.
I gotta say, I was on the floor laughing when you called yourself an alligator, Nathan. When you're talking about Red's rhetoric, and he could come here and debate. Where do you come up with this stuff? Dude.
But the mute button is scary. The mute button is very scary.
Hey guys, I wanted to say every time I donate, they're accusing me of being a sock puppet account.
Who is?
Why is that? I don't know. I hear
Because they're ballers.
this flat
Okay,
Earth fantasy keeps on every time I
Well, how many
donate.
subscribers do you have?
Different guy. Oh,
You have like 3
no,
subscribers or something?
where me?
Yeah.
I don't care about my subscribers. I'm talking about whenever
That's why they're calling you a sock account. Because when you make a new account, it only has like 0 or 1 subscriber, usually none. So when they see that, they think you just made it up so you could be here.
They also just want to insult you because you're giving a super chat to Nathan.
Yeah, this is the land of the rebuttal.
Yeah, it's
Right,
basically what
rebuttal.
it is. So
That's okay. This is just for me. I can give you your name. Nathan had interviewed me before. Having fun with the Earth is being seriously flat because we gotta use whatever it takes. They are censoring our names now in Facebook. They're all attack on the flat Earth notion.
Well, speaking of attacks, before you end this, I wanted to run something past you guys that I got temporarily attacked for, and it's kind of frustrating to explain this, but I think I'm making sense, and it comes down to the argument of does water stick to a ball or something like that, and I said, well, or no, I'm sorry, it was the guy in Australia is upside down, that sort of thing. And I said, that really doesn't work as an argument because if we're going to use that model, the person really isn't upside down because the image that's put out, when you're thinking about it, yeah, you're standing away from a floating ball in mid space. That's not a perspective that can really count in the argument because no one's ever going to see things from that point of view. So no one's upside down, but it ruffled some feathers. And people saying, how's a boat going to go up the side of the earth and this sort of thing? It's like, well, it doesn't do that. That doesn't happen. Like, it's just trying to explain that as an argument for something other than a sphere.
Who's the one saying that doesn't happen though? That you saying that or the person?
No, somebody was saying it to someone else on the street. Basically, it was on Poncho Pete's channel where they're doing they're out in Hollywood, flat smacking people, and it was just a sound issue. And my thing is I keep it quick. If you're going to introduce this topic, if you dare to introduce this topic to people on the street, try to nip it in the bud and get out of there fast. So maybe they'll take a look at it. But once you start pouring on the info, it's lost on people.
It depends on who you stop.
That's true.
Some people might be interested in it.
Unless you just stick to one point that you are very comfortable with, then you can nail it big time.
I've said many times, once they say anything about a model, it's a sphere. How do they move, without a visual on that? We still don't have a visual on this sphere model. But I don't understand why it needs to be a sphere. Like, what's the problem with anything else? What's the problem with viewing Earth as what it looks like?
That's not what we're taught.
Well, the Mason, so many hidden societies, they twist everything. If it's flat, if it's ugly, now it's beautiful. That's how they do it.
I want to graduate from flat Earth school. I think I'm going to start a channel it's not flat and it's not a sphere.
Just Earth.
Well, there's this guy, Enter the
Exactly.
Stars, that he has the model of Earth as
an eye.
that's an eye. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's what actually brought me to flat
It's
Earth.
fun.
That
It's a
little
fun
model.
idea.
And new
I think this
models
whole
called
idea,
the T model.
the whole idea of entirety is the problem. That's where we get into trouble. How is it going to affect anything intrinsically when we know the entirety of it? I think that's a tall order for a human being.
Well, let's see. How
Because
can
we already think we know what it looks like in
a
entirety.
fish in a tank,
And
he
that's a
cannot
problem.
go beyond the tank? That's who we are. We are in this paradigm, this Earth. We can go be outside of this Earth to see what it is. Like a
Yeah,
fish
but
tank. In a fish tank, we cannot go outside and see what we just. This is our domain.
but somebody outside the fish tank took a picture of that fish tank supposedly and stuck it in the fish tank and showed the fish, this is what you live in. Fish believe it.
That's right. But who is outside that
Well,
can also come inside and
N-
mingle with
Nope.
us?
Nobody. But they made a good case for it in a time where people were just a little bit more dumber than we are now.
Right.
And you know what? To play their game, you got to play their societal game. And I don't want to be part of their system. So it's going to serve them in the end just right. They have to live with themselves.
Hey, seriously, Flat and Haunted, I sent you each a message in the Hangout. So just
Travis, you're really choppy, man.
I heard that you sent us a message.
you guys hear me
You're
clearly?
yeah. You're totally breaking up.
You sound like Stephen Hawking.
So before I go, I just want to clear up. I know Anthony, you still here? Pull the attack van over. You should be polishing with some compound 101.
You there, Anthony?
So to clear up, and I don't want to speak for anybody, but he does have a letter here that he says he's aware that the guy Marcus Goldfinch. He says I did work with Marcus Goldfinch, who's at apparently MGTV, and he's retaliating via his MGTV YouTube channel. He met him when he worked for Flat Earth Productions as a film production accountant in the late 90s. This company produced stunts for Xena the Princess Warrior, the Warrior Princess, and other TV shows. That's where he met Marcus Goldfinch, who was the main stunt coordinator. They talked about Flat Earth back then, Marcus and others. I laughed at first, but then they made me sign a non-disclosure agreement. I've kept this information close to my heart and told not a soul. And when Flat Earth blew up, I realized it no longer mattered who I told on. I am a whistleblower, and I am now being pressured by MGTV, who functioned as my handler for all these years, to stop pushing for exploration. Okay, the last thing he says is, "Over the Poles is not my creation. I seized the opportunity to explore, and Marcus Goldfinch, as my handler, is trying really hard to sabotage my work. But he doesn't matter. I'm going to Antarctic and Arctic with or without the community. Signed, MM. That's Mike Marshalik, exploring again. So, hey, I got nothing to lose. If he says he's going, he's going. I could always find out where he lives. And
So is the narrative
Well, I
you're
can't
putting
believe-
forward,
give him a
Jonathan?
living.
That, so, Jonathan,
Can't wait for
What's that?
Elon Musk to be gone too.
so is the narrative you're putting forward, Jonathan, that this guy is essentially trying to promote the pole-to-pole flight because he's trying to explore, and he's explaining that he's had a handler who is now MGTV, and they all together know the Earth is flat, but he's been told to sign a non-disclosure agreement to not discuss it. But now he is discussing it, and they're trying to suppress him. Is that pretty much the gist
and this
of
is
it?
and this was in the late 90s where he got together with the guy. He never told me anything about this. And I'm only saying that in a way where, I had coffee with the guy twice. If I figured I was in town and I'd go meet up with him. It's always a good thing to see people face to face. And we were just talking about like Discord stuff. But when I saw his Explorers Unite, I didn't know about the flight over the poles yet. I was aware of the old one via an old archival channel on YouTube. Then the campaign for Flight Over the Poles came out. I'm assuming it's United at one of the airlines or CNN or whoever is going to put it on their television station. And he said he sent me a message on Discord saying he got a ticket for it. And then he told me that he's going to get some gear. And I told him, well, if you're going to get gear, get the best stuff you can get. And then after that, he told me that they're not allowing anything, which I kind of figured there, they don't want that. They want people to have drinks and have a good time. Because I think they book it so there's plenty of room for people to mingle. The first one, I suggest people go watch. It's only like 20 minutes long. Like they had a Playboy Playmate. No, there was a Miss USA. They had a couple of minor celebrity types. They had a woman with these poodles. They had that. They had like everyone from each little walk of society there, evened out.
That all just sounds like a distraction.
Well, yeah, that's what everything was back then, on television. If it was on TV, it had to be TV ready. So this was a big party. That's it. It was, which when it's a business putting on a party, it's advertising. It's always advertising.
Yeah, a party set on a plane.
Well, we're having a
Right,
meetup
that doesn't
with
really
a lot of
exist.
flat earthers here at the beach on September 8th. And we're going to do some strict activism here on the beach. And we're going to be talking about the next plan of action, how we're going to start a kindergarten, a flat earth kindergarten. Our meetups are actually designed to destroy the glove. Our meetups are not
Can I offer
what
one? I'd love what you're talking about. Just take those two words and dump them, toss them. They're too loaded. Like if you said we're going to have the new geography or something like the geography revised course. That means this whole idea of the flat Earth party, the fun and games part has ended. Now it's seeped into society, and people are now applying it to their real life. Whereas, if anyone in control wants to monitor this, they want us online congregating because it's safe that way. Nothing gets done when we're online. It's out in the open. That's a problem. Just like the police don't like things that happen out in the open, especially if it's illegal and they're involved in it. Doesn't look good for them. So when people are, I think you're going robo. Which beach, by the way? God, I wish I was down by the beach. Here I am in my garage, pulling shed rage. I should be down by the beach, not looking at females.
Yeah, right.
Are you down in in I don't even know where. I don't want to be. I don't want to stereotype. You sound like maybe Dominican or like South America, Brazil. I see a map behind you. Oh, that's a flat Earth map. You're in that flat spot. New Jersey? Or do you not care to disclose?
Is he even here?
Yeah, I think he might have problems with the signal.
Or he doesn't want to answer.
Well,
Yeah.
we're right in California.
Oh, you're California. All right, cool. I got to get out there. So laid back.
So,
Yeah,
where are the
the
ballers?
words.
I'm trying to get some ballers to come in here. Like, they're all in the chat talking about the show's boring. Like, it's an echo chamber. But where are you guys?
But
Like,
you
come
know,
here.
this is what they don't really.
Oh,
Also,
can't hear a word you're saying.
And these guys, these non sequitur people, you got to take a close look at what kind of personality we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the element of society that really they're disgruntled types. They're nervous. They're the guys who got picked on, and now they're getting attention for doing what? Trying to put others' new like ideas down, as if they're the guardians at the gate of knowledge. Don't worry, we won't let those bad ideas in. They fail every single time. They haven't said anything. Like to make that your goal in life. Like what's Mick West? But the problem is they get so much attention. Who's giving them the attention? Like when Flat Earth Asshole was around, I was like, why are so many people subscribed to this idiot? And then I started to really understand what's happening here. Like what actually is happening here. When nothing's at stake, it doesn't matter. The information is relevant. But once something's at stake, then your social security number takes, usually is part of it. Because we don't lose anything. We're not gonna, you can shut the computer down and go and do whatever you got to do. And it's all hearsay too. It's all hearsay. Everything's hearsay until it's right in front of you. You can only change yourself. You can only really experience what you're experiencing.
Got Spec and Darwin having a back and forth in the Skype chat. I'm hoping they'll actually bring their conversation on air.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he would have to join the room. I don't know if he's capable doing that right now. He's
on
a
the panel.
trucker after all.
He's on the panel already.
What? Where?
Yeah.
Oh wait,
The Henry
Hey.
Rollins looking guy in black and white.
Yeah, I'm here.
hey
What's up,
Travis,
Spec?
you're muted.
Spec, we had that
well,
conversation.
anyway, guys, I gotta go make breakfast for my buddy wants to come up to our meetups there, which are hands-on. We do experiments in here.
I bet there's good food, right?
The Glowford is on September 8th, 10 a.m. till sunset. It's on from oceanfront property. It's a potluck.
Is there
Did
like an
you start out
Is-
with the accent of Jimbo and then
guys, hold on,
transformed into your new accent?
hold on. Just let Earth is Seriously Flat plug his event without talking all over him, so at least the audience can get to hear all the information. Go again, if you would, Earth is Seriously Flat. Please plug your event.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I just want to invite you all to our meetup on September 8th, 10 a.m. until sunset. California. It's a bring your own equipment if you have any cameras, and if you guys want to swim here, it's amazing. You guys are all in the 8 Sunset Beach, California.
Say Sunset Beach where, sorry?
Uh, Sunset Beach, California, between Seal Beach and Huntington Park.
And that's on the 8th of September, did you say?
Correct, yes.
Excellent. Come one, come all, if you're
Also,
in that
Mark
area.
Sargent advertised it.
Ace. Well, thank you very much for joining the panel, Earth is Lucy Flat. First time on the show. Really good to have you. And thank you for all the
You
super
have a
chats as well.
wonderful
Much
day.
obliged.
We'll see you next week. Next time.
Yeah, indeed. Hopefully
Yeah,
we'll
man,
have you on
thanks.
again.
Later, man.
Hey Nathan, what's the deal with Red's rhetoric? Have you ever thought about what it is about that guy that everybody loves so much? You know, like they need a contender against the reigning champion, and for some reason, the reason why most people don't accept him is the same reason why people want him and you and him to have a debate.
I honestly don't know. I don't know much about Red Rhetoric,
I
if I'm
haven't.
ruthlessly honest.
Yeah, I heard him debate Jaren, and he has a knack for being antagonistic and profane.
Sounds like an arrogant little fuck to me.
Well,
Pardon my language.
he provides what a crowd would want to hear, where it's more rough and angry. Because people want to hear people lose control.
What's he angry about?
Oh, that's probably a laundry list that never ends.
The world's a globe, right? Why is he angry?
I just, himself.
Is he angry?
Just listening to the guy, there's deep hatred. There's I really don't want to be alive, but since I am, I'm gonna suck so bad, And he's good at math, I guess. He's very in touch with his math skills. He thinks that's how the world works. So, he
Math
thinks
is
you can map.
reality.
He mapped the country by using his odometer. So that's about how scientific he gets.
By using his what?
His odometer.
He mapped the country with his odometer.
Yeah. I don't know how he took into consideration all those left turns and right turns. I guess there's a route you can take. If anything,
I don't know.
someone needs to like chase the sun or put out this idea that there are no sunsets. Like there's no sunset, there's no sunrise. It's the same everywhere. It's always the same. And I think we're not.
Oh, is that the chat being sniped? I suspect so. Can I get a hello from anybody who's still on the panel?
Hello.
No, everybody's been sniped apart from Chocolate.
Oh.
Right, I'm going to start a new hangout, Chocolate. There will be a short intermission. No, there's no sound. There's just nothing going on because I'm starting a new hangout. Saucy London. Okay, so the Hangout's back online. Hopefully we'll have a few guests rejoin us in the not too distant future. Check Master B. You're in that Skype group. The link's just gone out there. And hashtag same team. So there you go. Still worth starting a new Hangout, I feel. Got about 15-20 minutes left, maybe. Hey, Arwin.
Hello.
Hello.
So who was the sniper?
I don't know. I saw someone join and then drop. Didn't see who. No big deal. Hey, Jose.
Hey, somebody didn't like that conversation.
Indeed. Hey, Spec.
Hey guys.
We never did get to your conversation with Arwin. As it's a limited number of people in here now, maybe you can carry on that conversation if you don't mind. I was really enjoying it in the back chat.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I can't get in the back panel though. Weird.
Hello.
So do you need me to start the ball rolling again? Because you were talking about concepts of time.
Yeah, I can't remember where we left off.
It's right there in Skype.
I'll just read the last couple of comments. You have to take into consideration that all perception must be true in order to attain truth. And then Arwin says, I disagree. God, this is like getting blood out of a stone, guys.
Yeah, I guess basically the conversation was about what is time, and I believe time is perception based, and that it's merely a construct of man to measure entropy. Most call it the fourth dimension, where an object was in a certain place in a three-dimensional construct, if you will, and then move to a different location, and that's how they measure time. But I believe that time is something a little bit more simple.
Right. Well, time is change. Time is measured by change. That's the one thing. If there's no change, there is no relation to time. And certain changes happen due to chemical reaction or physical effects, like for example, a quartz crystal resonating. It happens at a very specific frequency. This is why watches use quartz crystal uh, to basically keep them on track, because it is such a constant pulse. It's very interesting property. And on the other hand, chemical reactions also proceed at specific time intervals, specific speeds, as it were, depending on the condition, of course. Gunpowder burns faster if the pressure is higher, that kind of thing. And yeah, but there is a constant in the change, so time is measured by change.
Well, you're taking a physical and using that construct to formulate some sort of actual time span. And what I don't know about you, but have you ever went to sleep and then woke up and it was 15 minutes later, but it felt like 3 hours later?
Yeah,
or
but that's
vice
because your
versa?
perception is not there to take note.
Exactly.
For example, in dreams, it's very weird. The perception of time with the consciousness is just that. You can be in certain moods, like if you're ecstatic a lot, without fear, all that, yeah, time will seem to fly. But if you're in an uncomfortable situation, then time slows down. But that is purely the perception of it. The actual time, the non-objective or non-subjective time happens, proceeds, reacts in very specific speeds that are testable. that are provable by science through chemistry and all kinds of physics effects. Yeah, that is just one of the foundations how to determine things. Without time, what can you prove?
Well, that kind of is my point exactly. Is that it's like Schrodinger's cat. If you have this crystal that's pulsing at such and such rate, if it's in a black box, until you open that box, you don't actually perceive that time. You can say it happened from A to B, and there was a span of time during that pulse or that calculation or whatever, but until you actually perceive it, it doesn't exist. It's
No, that's not
everything is
true.
perception based.
I disagree. It doesn't exist to you. That's again a personalized version. It is the subjective perception of time. It is not the absolute time. That is non-subjective. You're treading on philosophical grounds outside
Correct.
of the territory of scientific proof.
Right, which you can't prove time without perception.
No, you can't make observations without perception. So yeah, without observations, there's going to be no scientific method.
Exactly, and that's where in the philosophical realm is that you can't actually prove anything to anyone ever, because
That
it's
is
all perception based.
that is inconstructive. It is nihilism at its worst. It is total, forget the damn word, solipsism. It's unproductive. It's not stimulating. It is depressing. Uh, it's no use doing that.
No,
You
I
got to deal with something. A human has a natural need to do stuff, and we get
But-
bored eventually.
right, but we're making assumptions that your perceptions is the same as mine, and that goes against the scientific method.
No, no, it does not.
Well, if you assume that my perception of time is the same as yours based on whether I'm taking a nap or not.
Yeah, but that's why you don't use personalized time. You don't use subjective time to measure things. It's not like how long it takes to your consciousness. It is based time as we use it is based on mechanical and chemical reaction speeds that are very specific. And for example, the angular speed of the sun is also very specific. These are specifics that don't seem to change, or they in relation to each other they are the same. So it is, yeah, they are constant in relation to each other. That's why
Right.
they're useful.
So let's
The perception of time itself, how fast time goes to you as a person, is completely irrelevant, because you can just check your watch, which is based on mechanical reaction speed.
right, but that was all assumed on a linear clock, right? Like, are you saying that time is linear?
Yeah, the objective time, yeah, it seems to very much be linear.
But as an observer, you have to perceive it first, right? Like that's the definition of an observation is perception, right?
Right, if you're just going to use your own senses, then yes.
Yeah. So again, I agree with you because there's this natural world where um, I can look at my clock and go to bed and then see that 3 hours transpired since I woke up. But my perception of that is completely non-linear.
Indeed, but that is your own subjective perception of it, and not very useful to prove
Right.
anything. But
So
yeah, no matter the time it takes for you to be aware or perceive things, if you're actually going to do an experiment, then your perception is going to be based on the mechanical and chemical change constant in the devices that you use to measure time.
Right, which is the assumption
That is
that
what you base that on.
second is
Objective.
exactly a second, and I can't prove that. All I can see is that a mechanical watch that was constructed by a man.
Yeah, well, you can choose not to trust your own senses and then not believe anything and not trust anything. And yeah, that's also solipsism. That's every individual's choice. But I find the chemical and mechanical reaction speeds reliable in my
But
experience.
find that definitive of time itself?
Sorry?
Do you find that definitive of time itself? I mean, just because, you know, reaction A and reaction B.
Yeah, that I think that is what time is. It is the change. It is the constant of change. It is another, yeah, it's another dimension, but not spatially, but yeah, the dimension of change, an extra layer,
Well,
extra depth.
when you interlace entropy as a constant, right? Because entropy is a constant.
Mhm.
All I'm suggesting is that time, regardless of perception, is merely a man-made construct of entropy.
Yeah, it is.
So in that aspect, what we perceive as time, what we try to measure as time, isn't actually time. It's just a measurement of entropy. It's a decaying force of it was this and now it's this.
Not necessarily decaying. That is a very narrow, again, depressing perception on it. No, it is, there are certain elements, mechanical and chemical, that are just constant in their change, and that is how we measure time, indeed. And that also falls under entropy. That, yeah, time is just a concept technically as a word, but it is a very usable ruler to measure, well, the entropy. We measure it with time. It's very easily defined. It's much more usable as a ruler, as a device within science to define things.
What does it actually define, though?
Mechanisms, lots of it.
I don't see
Chemical
how.
effects, explosion, how much pressure within a certain point of time, acceleration, all everything we have pretty much, except
Right, but
for
it doesn't define whether or not. For example, you know, they say, let's say, you know, Jeranism's experiment with the rice, right? Where something decays more because you hate it, you know, that actually decays quicker because you hate it. You know what I mean? Does that actually change time at that point?
No.
I mean, something happened to create it, to make it create more decay. So.
Yep. Well, that's when life is concerned, and some people, there is a direct influence that your consciousness can have on things.
Right. And when people say things like lifetime, you know what I mean? If you lived 3 days or 300 years, that's very relative. You see what I'm saying?
All depends on the condition of your physique, of your biology.
Right. So we measure years, we measure days, we measure.
But again, that's personalized. That is the subjective form of time.
See you later, guys. I'm gonna get out of here.
Good night, Jose.
Oh, see you later. Everybody's leaving.
Yeah, and my argument is that time doesn't actually exist. It's a man-made construct that we count as time, but it's merely a perception-based construct. if you
But
will.
so are distances. Okay, it's all the same. It's a ruler. It's a ruler that you use. That's what
Hi,
it is.
Event Horizon. How you doing?
Exactly.
It's a tool.
What makes something
But
a
why would you say it doesn't exist? Because yeah, it may not. It may be a concept. It's very clearly defined what it's based on, but we can use it. So it's very weird to just say it doesn't exist. Because yeah, it does. We use it on a lot of things. It's there. It's very useful.
Well, I think it's like I said, I think it's a man-made construct of being able to measure something, just like a foot or a meter or whatever. What is that? That's just space in between a start and an end. It doesn't. You're just making up what it is. You know what I mean? It's just distance. So what is it actually?
It is entropy. It is the speed of the change.
Which is decay.
Yeah, it sounds like you're on the same page now.
No, not necessarily decay, but also decay also falls under that. Yes.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's definitions and so forth. And when you take the philosophy side of it, which is rather depressing, is that time doesn't exist. It's a construct of man to measure decay. That's all it is.
And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!